What we have now is a very, very rare treat. Coming up at 10 o'clock is Dave Cortese. He is a dedicated public servant, and he's a leader in advancing climate and environmental policy in the state of California. Dave serves in the California State Senate, and he represents Silicon Valley. He's championed initiatives that promote clean energy, sustainable infrastructure, and climate resilience. Prior to his time in the Senate, he was the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors. He was a member of that. He helped lead efforts to protect open space, improve transit, and invest in environmentally responsible development. Mr. Cortese is responsible for bringing Senate Bill 24, which is a California Senate resolution which places California as a leader in the commitment to restoring our climate by 2050. He's known for his collaborative approach, and he brings together committees, businesses, and policymakers to turn ambitious climate goals into practical, actionable solutions. And Dave will be on in about 4 minutes. So the California Senate's in session right now, so he's gonna jet in and talk to us and then jet back out. I do wanna say a couple of things in case anyone has to leave. The most important thing in terms of ocean fertilization is that you want to be environmentally sound. And I know you spoke about the coral specifically, and one of the other groups that's going to talk will maybe be able to get in a little bit more into that, but you don't want to fertilize even where, for instance, crabs nest for the exact same reason. Because all the growing things in the ocean, they're used to having abundant oxygen because they just absorb it through whatever's touching the water. So if you cover it in dust, they will die. And I personally don't eat crabs, but I've been told by a lot of people, my wife's from Maryland, that they're delicious. So we don't want to ruin that. It'll ruin lives and livelihoods and the ocean ecology. Do we have Dave? Senator Cortese, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. We're presenting to you, or you're presenting to us. We are live in Dallas, Texas.
All right. Good morning. I'm live in Sacramento, California. Shall we go ahead and start?
Yes, indeed, sir. We've already introduced you, and I'm from Sacramento myself, so I'm happy to see that you're having a good time there.
Not the best of weather today, but we're going to have a nice full day here in Sacramento. I'm happy to get started early Pacific Daylight Time here, and happy to greet all of you. I want to just emphasize that I appreciate all of the work that's been done on climate restoration over the years, especially in recent years. Obviously, we're in it for the long haul, but we're also in it to make short-term gains and make sure we're making real measurable progress. And I think one of the ways to do that with the kind of headwinds we face, each time we've dealt with an administration that's not been friendly to climate policy as we know it here in California, we've had to take matters more to the grassroots level, more to the local level. We've had to weave together essentially a quilt work of local folks, of city folks, large and small, of counties, and obviously when we look at it at the global level, of provinces and every jurisdiction that essentially has its own opinion, typically consistent with our opinion on climate restoration. And one of the things we have used as a tool to kind of help jumpstart that and make sure that the public hearings, the public processes where people can be gathered around and really rally around the effort. One of those tools we found are something, at least in California, that we use pretty frequently called resolutions. And we, a few years ago during the as I recall, during the beginning of the Trump administration, I won't have my years exactly correct, perhaps, but knowing that we weren't going to get a lot of help from our own national government, and that might be the case elsewhere in the world, we took a resolution not only endorsing climate restoration, but laying out its principles to the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors. And just for context, that's 5 votes, 3 of which constitute a majority. So we're not dealing with the cumbersome nature of Congress or Parliament or anything like that. If you can get 3 votes, you've got to win, and we did get a win. But more importantly, Santa Clara County is the county seat of Silicon Valley, the original Silicon Valley. It's the home of 20 or more major driving industries, including Apple, Google, and others. Obviously, people know where it is on the map in that context. So we felt that although it was a local government action, it was also an action that allowed us to organize in a much bigger way than it might have appeared on paper. That effort was shared and advertised at the Climate Restoration Conference or Summit the evening before the UN summit that year. It was also shared later at Governor Jerry Brown's original climate summit in San Francisco, the inaugural climate summit in San Francisco. In fact, Vice President Al Gore and I presented to a larger group of county supervisors from throughout California, trying to build on that momentum, but also trying to do exactly what I was indicating here to you a moment ago, to take that action in Santa Clara County and try to literally build the quilt work, the political quilt work, one county at a time, put our actions, where our mouth was, use a big event where we knew we'd have a friendly audience of local officials in town in San Francisco, of course, just 50 miles north of San Jose and Santa Clara County. We would have a friendly crowd that we could gather, that we could, in the best of ways, lure in, around light refreshments and an opportunity to meet with Vice President Gore and listen to a pitch about why they needed to do the same thing. And we did have counties and other jurisdictions follow with those same types of actions. Why is that important? Because when I was then elected to the California State Senate just a little over 5 years ago, one of the first things we started to do was to put together the first statewide resolution of its kind, basically derived from the original Santa Clara County restoration, sponsored, by all of you, basically, and by the Foundation for Climate Restoration, particularly. We put that forward to a legislature that, although is very climate friendly, is also very nuanced in terms of how we should go about that. How should we go about reducing GHG? How should we go about dealing with this crisis? Is it all about knocking out, fossil fuel utilization and production overnight, or is it about keeping our air clean fundamentally? Is it about both? Is it about eliminating certain tools? These were real debates that occurred when we brought the resolution forward at the state. And it was challenging for a while, to get professional policy committee consultants to understand that climate restoration is not a loophole for folks to skirt around the issue or to keep working toward a future with massive utilization of fossil fuels. It is not at all. We know that, that. But it's amazing, that, even in a state like California, it took effort and time and patience to make sure that we laid that all out. I'll kind of wrap up here by saying, wherever you go and wherever we are in the world with this message and with this organizing effort, folks are going to say, yeah, you did that there, you did that somewhere else, but it's a lot tougher where we are. And the fact of the matter is, politics are tough wherever you are. We see that in the world today in a very literal way. We all know that as well. And I think that, as John F. Kennedy said, we do these things because they're hard. We're not here to take on the easy issues. We're here organizing and convening and plotting a future that will save humanity, because it's hard. It's hard, especially in the face of the climate action that's necessary. So I appreciate an opportunity to revisit some of that history, and the call to action, I think, is, if I can be allowed to issue a call to action, is, let's continue to pass that baton. Let's continue to take ground on the climate restoration effort wherever we can find it. There's no jurisdiction that's too small. There's no effort that's too small, because ultimately that's how the greatest movements in the world, have come to be, and this really does have to be a movement of that nature. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Senator Cortese. And congratulations on SB 750, and have a good day at work. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.